Hey,
How we doing?
good. How about you guys?
All right. Did you get a chance?
Energized.
Did you get a chance to watch a lot of golf?
Yeah, I did actually.
So, what do you think?
Where do we start? Start at the
So,
golf
okay,
course. Start at the golf
I
course. I think you start there.
okay. What kind of?
Uh,
I want to hear from the
Valhalla's
former
too
superintendent.
easy. Valhalla's too easy to be a major championship. It's not hard enough. It You can play that golf course and not make big enough mistakes. The ball doesn't the ball doesn't roll out a lot. It just it hits the ground and it stops. And no putts get away from you, no chips get away from you. I mean, it's just one of those courses. It's just not hard enough, in my opinion. It needs to be a little bit more difficult to be a major.
Yeah, if I were going to follow up on that, I would say it'd be way more interesting to me if they're going to have a major there, if they shave down a lot more of the course and they got to have it baked. There's a
It's got to
lot of
be
it.
cooked. It's got to be
Yeah,
cooked.
especially as big as it is. And they can't help it. They got all that rain early in the week.
No,
But that made the course ripe for the taking. I do think it's a great match play course. Like if they want to have a match play championship or a Ryder Cup, a President's Cup would be super interesting there. Um, maybe even like a Stableford could be fun.
well,
Like some guy coming down 18 and he needs 5 points, to win by one. Like that could be cool. But stroke play, especially a major, no. I mean, I enjoy it, but
well,
21 under
it's
par, like,
yeah. Well, the thing is in that time frame where the tour has put the PGA, they're stuck in the middle of the country,
yeah.
and there's no real like super difficult ones in there. They're gonna do the same thing to Quail next year. It's not gonna look hard enough. It's still gonna have a lot of ryegrass on it. Hopefully, it's hot as balls, and they can cook some out and make it a little bit more difficult. I
Well,
just they're stuck in a hard part of the country to get like really really difficult golf. I think.
2028, they're going to be at Olympic. And I mean, last year was a slosh fest, but at Oak Hill, what was it, 6 under one, 5 under, something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to say that, they can't get hard courses, especially in the month of May. Um, but I do think, I mean, actually, if you look at when Phil won at Kiowa, what did he finish at? 6 under that year, 1 by 2. So, I mean, I think it can happen. I don't think Valhalla is going to be it. I think Valhalla is always going to
No, but
yield low
yeah, but
scores.
Kiowa, you can get hard enough though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can.
Kiwi, you don't have to really do anything to make it hard. Like you just show up, and I mean, the best those guys are going to do is 12 under, 13 under, just probably in day-to-day conditions.
Right.
It's so dependent on the wind out there, anyway. Um, but Valhalla, EJ, I think you're on mute, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I know. Do you want me to weigh in? I'll talk about the course
Absolutely.
for a little bit. I thought it had some really like memorable holes. You know what I mean? 13 was cool, the par four that you could get at in one if you had Alejandro Tosti's driver. But like it had some risk reward holes that I thought provided some drama. Having a par five to finish is always great. You know what I'm saying? That keeps everybody really in it. Um, I think the test of the course, I thought it did a good job. There wasn't a lot of bums at the top of the leaderboard. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the cream did rise, but it also brought a lot of the coffee up too. You know what I'm saying? So like it was
Yeah.
just really congested at the top. And I think a major championship really needs to make it, granted, even at the end when it was just the three guys, really 3 strokes clear. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't think it's tough enough for a major. I thought the guys that were at the top played exceptional, and they were the ones that were deserving to be there.
I mean, I guess as long as the people who play the best are at the top at the end, that's what really matters. I mean, that's what any tournament, but especially a major, should be trying to examine is who's the best, and give them the best chance to win. I think Scotty was still the guy to beat had he not had the rough day yesterday, probably, actually recovering and digesting what truly had happened on Friday. Probably, was his kiss of death. No pun intended there, and
Right.
Rory McIlroy, dude, I mean, the way he played last week, he might have been the only person that could have been the favorite over Scotty. Brooks had 2 mediocre rounds and 2 good ones. Those are the 3 guys, though, I think that probably, should have been up there more than anybody, and they weren't, and so that's where I think, even though the course did examine the players well enough that we saw the best players or some of the best players in the world at the top of the leaderboard, I think it was just a little too easy that it let some guys who maybe weren't fully on their game still rise up pretty high. I mean, look at Colin Morikawa. He probably should have played or scored a lot better today, but his putter stunk. And
What happened to him at the end, though? He fell off the leaderboard.
Yeah, because he just wasn't making any putts.
Even par.
Yeah.
He made one bogey and one birdie.
His one birdie was on 18,
Yeah.
exactly. And for the way he putted today, I think any other major, whether you're talking about U.S. Open, the Open Championship, or maybe not the Open because those greens normally don't get fast, but definitely U.S. Open and the Masters, the way he putted today, he should have been like a 75 or 6, and instead he was a 71.
So
that's where
go ahead.
I was saying that's where my gripe is, and I think realistically speaking, like Scotty having one bad round of 73 shouldn't have been as penal to him as it was, but
Yeah.
I mean that if you just look at him, he needed his other round to be 73 to be like a 68 or something, or 67 for him to actually have a chance. That's kind of asking a lot to shave 5 or 6 strokes.
Sure.
So I asked this question to Scott before we started recording, Pat. Like, if you looked at the leaderboard this morning, what did you think the best case scenario was today?
Best case scenario, like in my eyes?
Yeah.
At the end?
Yeah.
Oh, I think if I could have just barely made one adjustment to the end of the day, like Xander doesn't make that putt and we go play off. And Bryson beats Xander in the playoff.
Yeah.
Would have been an ending I would have much rather seen.
I think
Absolutely.
Bryson winning would have been the best case scenario for the day.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it would have been best for kind of golf at this point.
The only other
it's got to be weird now. I mean, it's got to be. It's the tour shit the bed this week, boys. Like, that's not good. All of that's not good.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I think
I mean, the tournament ended up being good, but it wasn't like memorable. The memories is going to be that Scotty Scheffler got arrested.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's going to be the memory there, and I don't know. We'll see.
So I think
supposedly
Scheffler
he's getting arraigned.
Too far back. I think Scheffler was too far back to really make a run to win. You know what I mean? Today.
He was.
Yeah, because the course was too easy.
Right. So the only other best case scenario that I thought would have been cool would to see how Morikawa would have been treated if he would have won a third major. I mean, that puts him at the same level as Spieth, above JT.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How
Yeah,
would that
yeah.
have played out if he'd have won a third?
So I think you just brought up an interesting name that to me would have been the best case scenario, and that was Jordan Spieth winning. You know, he had that good round yesterday. Because yesterday, despite what Shane Lowry shot,
But he
yesterday
was nowhere close, was he?
well, despite what Shane Lowry shot yesterday, I think yesterday probably from a scoring average standpoint was probably the hardest day of the week. And so Spieth went out and put up like a 66 or 67. And so, you know, he put himself in shouting distance. And I think if he could have just gone, you know, nutso and ripped off something, you know, he maybe could have scared him at the top of the leaderboard, made him a little nervous. And, you know, to me, it's like if he could have been in the playoff conversation, that would have been super cool. And obviously, if he could have gotten his fourth major and complete the career Grand Slam, to me,
How
you know,
far back was he?
I
How
think
far
he
back
started the
was
day
he?
at minus
Rory.
9. He
and
started at
Rory were
minus.
at the same, weren't they?
Yeah, I think he was at minus 9.
Okay.
So
That was what, like 7 back?
no, they were at 15 under. So he was 6 back.
6 back?
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Hmm.
Who else was impressive today? I thought Victor Hovland played his ass off.
Yeah.
He was really
Billy
good.
Horschel shot like 63.
No, I saw that too.
Spieth shot +2, finished at -6, so he was at -8. He was 7 strokes back. So yeah, he probably was too far out. Yeah, the course was too easy. I mean, you had to be within
7's
4
too far.
Yeah, you had to be within 4 strokes to even have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Thought his winning would have been cool too.
Yeah, I like that kid.
Who's that?
Sahith
Theegala.
Theegala.
Yeah. Becoming a fan.
Yeah.
He's always
But I
there. He's always
I
there.
know.
Like if I'm watching golf on TV, like he's there. And I'm only watching when it's somewhat important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a slinger of the ball, you know. It seems like to me he's always doing a little something with it.
He's
You
got
know, and
moving all the time. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, sometimes he hits that straightforward shot, but it's not uncommon. He's trying to, you know, draw it or fade it, or he's trying to hit it way up in the air, or, you know, hit like this little tight, almost bunt style shot. I don't see that as much, but I mean, you know, he can just straight bomb the ball, or he'll, you know, play for position. So he's fun to watch, and he kind of shows his emotion.
Yeah.
But you know, he's not crazy about showing his emotion either, I guess, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So yeah, I like that kid. I want to see him in some Ryder Cups and President's Cups.
Yeah, I think he's got a good chance to make it. Let's see. Who knows? Who knows? I just said the same thing about a few other guys that vanished into oblivion.
So do you think with Bryson, you know, finishing as well as he just did, do you think there's like any chance the PGA Tour will do something crazy and let him play in the President's Cup?
Dude, I think they
I think
should.
you have to.
They should.
Like, do you think they're willing to look past probably however many suspensions, you know, or years of suspension they've placed upon him and say, yeah, because you're not actually PGA Tour at this time and everything else, you know?
I mean, how can you sign up for this team golf and bring a team and not bring the best team you can possibly bring? Like I would not want to be on the team if they said, "Hey, we're going to put this team together, but we're going to leave this person and this person that you think really should be there on the team to help you win." and then you go there and you lose. Like, I wouldn't even want to go at that point.
Yeah.
It's still a win or lose thing. Yeah, it's a cool event, but like it's still about winning and losing. To me,
I mean, and look at some of the guys that are going to be held out of the President's Cup on the international side.
right?
Think of it this way: if I'm the tour, right, my goal is to get as much money from this shit as possible. What a better way to bring some live guys back into the fold. Like, hey, you're not fully on the tour, but if the captain picks you, you're on. They'll get more money. They'll give them the little pass. It'll look like they're burying some sort of a hatchet. It's a great idea.
People will buy their hats with their logos on it, with the President Cup on it. You know what I mean? Like, I would buy one of those just because I like the hats and stuff and the logos. I'm just like, man, I don't really want to wear one of those, but I think they're cool. But like a President's Cup one with the logo on it, yeah, let me get one of those because that's a cool deal because it's going to be like, hey, they finally let it go.
I was going to say, as much as I love the President's Cup, maybe the coolest thing about it is the logo.
Right.
Because it's a great logo. I actually think it's a better one than the Ryder Cup. Like, if you just flash the Ryder Cup, you see this little rinky-dinky thing, and it's like you really don't even know what's the deal with it unless you see Ryder Cup underneath it. But the President's Cup, to me, just like it really stands out. And the only reason why I even say that was I was going through the Charlotte airport, and I looked over and I saw the logo immediately. I'm like, that's the President's Cup logo. Why the heck they have a kiosk in here? It's like, oh, that's right. They just played
25?
the President's Cup. Yeah, they just played the
Oh,
President's
no,
Cup
that was 2023.
22. Yeah, 22, wasn't it? And I was like, oh, yeah, duh. That's why. Isn't it in Canada this year?
But they play it, what, every other year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
This year it's in
So
Canada.
they're going to play it this year in Canada. So it was last year, Charlotte.
Yeah, Royal Montreal Golf Club in Montreal, Quebec. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was. What'd you say?
Nothing, dude.
The Frenchies.
Yeah.
Do you think Frenchie's gonna go?
I don't know, man. They should.
You should take some fried shrimp up there with him.
Oh. So, do we want to like talk about anybody's play? Who was impressive outside of Bryson?
I got one that I want to talk about. Not because of being impressive. What happened to Dustin Johnson?
Shot 5 under today. Got the -6.
Dustin Johnson's sitting at the house.
No, he shot 5 under. He finished T43 with Jordan Spieth. Yeah, shot 5 under, -6 for the tournament.
You thinking Justin Thomas?
Nope, Dustin Johnson, DJ.
I thought he shot like 100. He shot a pile the first 2 days.
No.
Rahm missed the cut.
Yeah.
That was surprising for me.
I bet he's real glad he went and took that paycheck.
I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, half a Billy. I'd be good with that. I mean, he just seems like a competitive guy. And I feel like this might be eating at him a little bit.
So, if I can talk about a player, I'd really like to talk about Tracy Phillips. And you're wondering who the heck is that? So he was one of the Corebridge PGA members. But what's really remarkable to me about him, and granted, I mean, the guy finished +13. Nothing special about his play. He's 61 years old.
Oh, shit.
Who?
Yeah. Tracy Phillips.
Okay. Made the cut?
No, of course not. No, he finished +13.
Okay.
Let me see if I Let me see if I can go get an actual.
How many of them dudes made the cut?
He shot 75, 80.
Who did?
Tracy Phillips.
Yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, I mean, 61 years old. I mean, how long was that course playing? 7,500 plus yards.
Yeah.
And it was soft. I mean, there comes a point when you're hitting your tee shots 290 yards on average, and if a fair amount of that's in the air, you're not hitting these little stinkers out there that go 230, 240 and then run forever. You're talking about somebody's actually flying it that far. 7,500 yard course, wet or dry, like you don't care, but you're probably still going to prefer it soft so that you can fire at the flags and know that your longer irons are going to stick when they hit the green, even if you're hitting to the middle. But I mean, I don't know how far that guy hits it, but I bet you he ain't hitting it some 290, 300. And for him, probably having it soft was a huge disadvantage. I mean, it was for anybody to some degree, for a lot of these guys, the best players, it's a huge advantage. But, there's some guys that, hit the ball high and some guys who hit the ball low. And those guys who hit it low, they're loving it when it's soft, but then you're soft and short, like that sucks. When you don't hit it very far and it's going low, you're hitting it really, really short. And so, I mean, that had to be a monster course for him. And he won DFL, He was not DFL. So I think
Was there
75.
anyone in the field older than him?
No, I don't believe so. I'm pretty confident he was the oldest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When you talked about trajectory, that was the one thing I noticed watching Bryson today. He seemed to have a much lower trajectory than the other guy he was playing with. Who was he playing with? Hovland. Okay. Yes. Am I right there? Or am I wrong?
Yes.
I would say
Bryson
yes.
definitely hit the ball lower.
Yeah.
Okay.
All day long.
And I think he was doing that in an effort just to keep it in the fairway.
Yeah.
Even as strong as he is, as far as he hits it, I mean, the greens were soft enough you could flag hunt from the fairway with ease, pretty much any pin.
So
he did a pretty good job from the rough too, though.
He did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Out of nowhere, man. It just kept making it happen.
The other thing that I heard them say on the broadcast is Bryson doesn't hit a fade.
Yeah, they actually said at one point that they thought he was the only guy on the top of the leaderboard that was drawing the ball.
Really?
Yeah, that kind of surprised me.
I mean, if he really tries to bring his hands down along his hips on his downswing, and from there, I mean, it's almost every time going to produce a draw. You really got to hold on hard, like Jim Furyk, for it to not.
Well, I was really impressed with his round today. It was amazing.
Well, yeah, Pat's trying it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm like, okay. I was just seeing what you were explaining, the way you were explaining it, how it felt in the swing. Like, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it shallows out the club.
Yeah.
And in a way, you can look at it like this: when you shallow out that club, even if you're getting the club square and impact, in a sense, you're getting that handle more shallow, and you bring your toe up. And the toe of the club is actually quite heavy. That's why, like, you look at ping, for instance, because it's getting further from the shaft, and it's probably the furthest point from the sweet spot. What they do a lot of times, they put tungsten inserts out there. That toe's heavy, so you're shallow. You're hitting down. If the opposite, you're hitting down vertically, it's real easy to come in with an open face, but because you're coming in shallow, that's already wanting to encourage the club to turn over. But then because that toe might be up a little bit higher, that toes then wanting to shut the club more. So it makes sense, that he is a drawer of the ball. That's actually probably one of the things I do like about him, because I tend to play a draw. I can confidently hit a fade, but I bet you he hits a fade way better than I do. and watching the guy these days hit a draw is just amusing for me because so many of them are now trying to hit these low spin fades because the clubs are allowing them to do it. And I don't know, it's one of the things I do admire about Rory McIlroy. He tried being crazy fast with a fade and it didn't work for him. He's gone back to his draw. We do see him fade the ball more now than he used to, but another guy draws the ball. Spieth draws the ball. So, but they're some of the few.
I thought that was an interesting thing.
Yeah.
We're talking about that who do you think has a better career, Pat? Xander or Cantlay?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Whose would you rather have more? Can we rephrase the question that?
I think Xander Schauffele at the end of the day going to be a better player
I think so.
long term. Long term,
If you
I
had
think it's Xander.
if you had one today, do you think that'd still be your answer?
Yes, I do.
I think
if he'd have come in third and blew it there at the end, I'd been like, yeah, he'll still be better than Patrick Cantlay. Yeah, I think so.
Did Cantlay even make the cut?
You're not gonna know who Cantlay is in like 2 years.
He did. He finished at -3, shot 68 today.
I mean, like 2-3 years, like Cantlay is not gonna be a name that you're like, oh yeah, he's one of the boys that's out there all the time now. I just don't think so.
Yeah.
There's still gonna be a bunch of people you forget about. Like you always have to remember that.
I feel like there's a chance he's going to go down in infamy because there's some people out there trying to say he's, destroying the tour. Because he's pushing back on the resolution with Live or the PIF, and just saying that like they think he's out for his own agenda rather than everybody else, that's playing. But if there's something that I can say that I don't necessarily know, because it definitely sometimes seems like he's about the money. I don't think his wall that he's put up is about the money. I think that dude genuinely just doesn't want to have anything to do with Live or the PIF. And I think that unless he starts winning majors, that might be what keeps his name, in people's memory. Not everybody, of course. I mean, at this point, he ain't gonna be a household name for certain. A lot of other names you're gonna think of when you hear Patrick Ewing. That's one that comes to mind. Mahomes, Cantlay's down there low. But all I'm trying to say is, I think if you know golf, because he's made himself such a force in this negotiation and this resolution, there's gonna be some people that are gonna remember who he is. And interestingly enough, I was listening to another podcast not too long ago, and as far as they were concerned, they were like, "Bye bye Patrick, bye bye Xander. Like here, we'll take Bryson back, but bye bye. Like, see, we've had enough of you." They're like, "We want Dustin back too," but yeah, I mean that does kind of prove your point and my point too. That like Cantlay and Xander really don't move the needle much.
No,
And I was
no.
actually I was telling EJ earlier because he asked this question. I was like, well, I think the
Wyndham
obvious.
Clark doesn't move the needle either.
Mm,
You know what
I
I
was
mean?
like,
Like there's gonna be guys that just go away and forget about.
I think they said they were happy to send off Wyndham too. Well, what I told EJ earlier was if I had to pick one of the two, I was like the obvious answer is probably Xander because he just won a major. I was like, but one thing that's been cool about Cantlay is what he's done in the cups. Especially like this past one when we got thumped. Yeah, he made it interesting
Right.
on Saturday and on Sunday, making some big putts. And then also, I mean, has to be one of the best playoffs that we've seen in the last like 30 years between him and Bryson at the I think it was the BMW there in like Maryland or Delaware, and they went for like 10 holes. and it wasn't boring golf. It was birdies and, clutch pars, and Bryson was just blasting the ball past him, and he was like, yeah, I'm just going to hit the fairways. I'm going to hit the greens. I'm going to make the putts, dude. And he's like, you do you, and I'm going to do me. And I thought that was pretty awesome. Heck, my family was watching it with me because they were like, this is still going on? I'm like, yeah. Like, this guy won't give up.
Right.
How many majors do you think Xander can win? And how many majors do you think he will have to win for us to, like, care?
I think if he wins one more, people will care. I think legit.
I
think
go for it.
I'll say if he gets to 2, I'm gonna say he wins 4. So I'm not gonna pontificate on like how many it will really be, because he's got to get to 2. But if he gets to 2, I'm gonna say he'll win 4. Especially if he does it in like the next 5 years, because he is damn good.
Let's say you, Pat.
Hang on. Go ahead with this one, you.
I think that he doesn't have a chance to win it. With the way that Scheffler's been playing, and just Rory, Spieth, JT, the field is too good. I think he would have to win. I mean, if he won another, he'd be Colin Morikawa. You know what I'm saying? Just a guy that's won a couple times, and they just happen to be majors. He would have to do something like Brooks has done. Win like 5 of them bitches for it to really matter, in my opinion. And I don't think he's got a chance to do that.
I agree with that 100%. I don't think he's got a chance. He might be that guy that sneaks up and wins another one just because. But other than that, not going to be a guy that you think about with majors. It's just not going to be that way. I don't think so. I think 3 makes you relevant.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think you have to have 3 to be relevant. It is what it is, and that's.
So is Scotty not relevant?
Yeah, I mean, he's on fire right now. Okay,
Yeah.
he could have one of the best seasons ever, one of the best 2 seasons ever. But at the end of the day, you got to look at golf in 10-year segments.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was gonna say. Is big of a fan as I am of Scotty, he might be the next Jordan Spieth.
Right. And he's going to be out there and he'll just come in 10th for the next 8 years. Like, he was relevant for a little while.
I want to bring something up
I
real
think
fast.
Spieth was a little bit better than Scotty Scheffler at this point. If Scotty stopped it, you know what I mean? Like if his dominance fell off now, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All right, so I want to throw this out there, by the way. Wikipedia has already updated. Oh, go ahead.
I think we'd be looking at Xander different if this was the Masters.
If this was what?
The Masters.
Yes.
If he had won the Masters instead of the PGA, we'd be looking at him much different. And I think that's why we look at Scotty with the regard that we do, because he's got 2 Masters.
Yeah. That's a very good point.
Yeah. And he wins all the time.
I know. Go ahead, Scott. Sorry to cut you off.
Well, I was going to say, no, it's okay. So Wikipedia has already been updated. They have his PGA on there. But I went here because it usually talks about their success in the majors. And looking at
success.
I would say it's good, not
He's
great.
been good.
So
I mean, not great, but good.
So 2017, he didn't play the Masters. 18, he goes T50. 19, T2. 20, T17. 21, T3. Missed the cut in 22. 23, 10. T10. 24. He finished 8th. The PGA, excuse me. Let's go PGA. 2017, he goes T5s. 18, T6. 19, T20. T10, missed the cut in 21, T13 and 22, T18 and 23, and then obviously the victory here. At the US Open, T20 in 2017, T2 and 18. Then he goes T3, 5th, T7, T14, T10. And then the Open Championship is where could kind of call it his blemish. But you never know, he might fill Mickelson and win. But 17 miscut, then T35, T41. There was no tournament in 2020. T26, T15, and T17. So he's never been inside top 10 at the Open.
Mm-mm.
But the dude's
No.
been right there at the majors.
Right.
And I was saying this earlier that I kind of felt like he turned the page or turned the corner when he won the Olympics 3 years ago. But I think where he really and truly did it was actually when he won the Traveler, or no, it's not Travelers, the Zurich Classic in New Orleans with Patrick Cantley, because he kind of went a little cold, and like that championship, that gold medal he won doesn't show up. So he had gone from January 6th, 2019 to April 24th of 2022 without a victory, except for that, that gold medal. And then he grabs that. And so now he's won 2022 Zurich, 2022 Travelers, 2022 Genesis, and the 2024 PGA. So in the last 25 months, he's had, 4 victories. It's not too bad. That's one every 6 months, and I mean, I don't know. I think he's one of those kind of guys. He's just got to open up the floodgate.
So he's won 4 times on the tour or 5?
No, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 if you include the Genesis Scottish Open. And then if you go over and consider like his European Tour wins, he won the HSBC. Yeah, HSBC.
So 1 more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 9 wins in a major is about what I look at him as. You know what I mean? That's a fair. He plays well consistently.
Yeah.
How many tournaments a year does he play since you're looking at his numbers?
It doesn't really show that, but he plays pretty often, so I'm going to guess he's at least 25 to 30.
I know he plays the Valspar.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's a bullshit little tournament. So,
yo, we need to try and get press passes for next year.
Probably make that.
That's one I just wonder.
And Pelican.
That's one where I look at a lot of times is like just counting victories and comparing, like counting victories a lot of times on tour. And they play from January to November every week somewhere. And it's just, there's so many tournaments.
I know.
There's a lot of guys that go to a bunch of them. And it's like, the best players can't always be there. There's so many of them.
All right, I got another question. Whose career would you rather have, Xander or Patrick Reed?
Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed for sure.
Me too.
Yep.
Are we talking about his career or his persona?
No, his career.
Career, of course,
He
Patrick
the
Reed.
answer. Yeah.
Green jacket? I mean, come on.
They probably have the same amount of wins. I think Xander probably has more than Patrick Reed.
That's a good one. That's a good bet.
All right, so we're gonna find out if we're gonna include European Tour wins. He's got 9.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so he's got 9.
You count
same
overseas because you account WBC, GCs, and all that stuff.
So Xander deserves also to count his gold medal. So,
all right.
Olympics,
because that's not a small event,
It's corny.
Depends on who you're talking to.
I think the event's corny.
Okay, so it says Patrick Reed, 9 professional wins.
Yeah. What a good comp.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm taking Patrick Reed's career.
Oh yeah.
And that doesn't include the live money.
Yeah, the only reason why I think I could possibly get down with that is because of the Masters. I mean, like look at the dinner, the Champions dinner they had for Brooks. It was like barely 15 people that went to it. And every year at the Masters, it's like 40 dudes, 35, 40 dudes. Now I know the Masters has been doing it for a hell of a lot longer. I mean, that's pretty much why any other championship is doing it at this point, because they want to have something. They want to be more like the Masters. But seriously, like.
All right, I got another comp for you. Xander or Cam Smith?
I mean, Cam Smith is way more interesting. So I'd rather win an Open than a PGA. So Cam Smith all the way. Sign me up.
An Open and a Players versus a PGA. I don't think does Cam have 9 wins? I don't think so.
No, I think I'm taking Xander long term on that one.
Yeah.
Xander's definitely made more money along the way.
Well, not as of late.
Along the way, I'm taking Xander.
I like time value of money.
All right. Let me think. Do you think Xander wins another one before either Ludwig, Cam Young, or Zalatoris?
Wins another what? Like PGA Tour event or a major?
Anything. Major. Major is what I'm thinking.
Ludwig, Zalatoris, and who? Cam Young?
Yeah. Would you pick Ludwig, Zalatoris, and Cam Young, or Xander to win another?
Ludwig and Zalatoris just alone. I would take those 2.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to say. Ludwig, future's pretty bright for that kid, but he did just miss the cut. Zalatoris finished like at -5, -6. So another, I guess you would say, solid tournament, but I mean, he's barely, barely relevant in the event or in the grand scheme of things.
Zalatoris he's won once, right? And then Ludwig's never won.
Ludwig's already won. He's won once on both tours. But here's something I want to bring up. Cam Young has yet to win.
Yeah. Do you think Cam Young has a better chance to win a major than Xander does?
No. Mm.
About that.
Nope.
And I'm not saying he won't win one. I'm just saying right now, he's got to get over the hump of just winning.
Who would be another?
So here's a different one.
I want to see somebody sneak in and win a major. Like an old guy or something. Like a Matt Kuchar.
I was thinking Keegan Bradley.
Yes. Yeah. Somebody like that. Yeah. Yeah, like on the verge of being the old guys. You know what I mean? And come out there and just win a major, sneak one in there on him and be like, where did he come from and win?
Well, I think
Just-
Kuchar's more
Just popping
interesting.
it down the middle and just doing their thing and making good putts, and all of a sudden they're winning the whole shit.
I think Kuchar's a little more interesting because he's yet to win one and he's been close. And he's probably not too far off from like a Hall of Famer career.
Right.
But he needs a couple wins and probably a major. Whereas Keegan, I mean, I think he's cool as heck. And he can be a lot of fun to watch, but he's still got a long ways to go before we're gonna talk Hall of Fame career. So
with two majors though.
I mean, I'm about to say he gets two, and then he gets on the next Ryder Cup and something, and hey, Hall of Famer.
So here's a comp. Would you rather be in Xander Schauffele's shoes right now or Brooks Koepka's?
Oh, Brooks Koepka's. Oh God, the
Close.
potential is so much higher. It's not even close. That was bad, Scott.
So I'm gonna
Why?
follow it up though. I'm gonna follow it up. Whose shoes would you rather be in
EJ
right
was
now?
doing a great job. You just had to
Whose shoes?
ruin that.
No, because I'm building up to it. Whose shoes would you rather be in right now? Phil Mickelson's or Tiger Woods?
Man, either one of them, because they don't have to do shit. They don't. Like, Phil doesn't have to show up. Like, he just go out to live, put on a headset, talk bullshit, hit some range balls, and call it a day, and they'd be fine with it, I'm sure. Hey, Phil, go put on a headset and talk some shit. Okay. I'll go ride the course and talk with the players, too. You know what I mean? Like, just to let Phil do some crazy stuff.
But you gotta pick one.
I'd pick
Man,
Phil.
Tiger.
Tiger.
His kid's got more potential than Mickelson right now.
His kid's got more potential than he does too.
Right. That's the way it should be at this point.
Yeah.
He can go watch Charlie play. Doesn't have to even
Yeah.
worry about golf.
I was really rooting to see both of them make the cut and then like they play together on the weekend. Because I think realistically
Tiger ain't making any more cuts at majors.
Tiger isn't making any more cuts, period, man. He isn't
Right,
playing
but
enough.
he's
I mean,
not going to play anything but the majors, but he's not going to make cuts anymore. So he's just not going to play anymore.
he's gonna play
Like,
the
it ain't working
Genesis.
out.
He's gonna play the Hero. We're gonna see him 6 times a year, you know?
Yeah, maybe. I don't think
But
he
it's just
plays the majors. I think he becomes one of like the damn honorary, the Freddie
starter at
Couples
the
of the Masters. You know what I mean? He's going to be the next Freddie Couples. They're not going to make him an honorary starter yet. He's still going to play. He might play good every once in a while on a Thursday, but he's going to run out of gas, and then he's going to limp his ass in on Friday afternoon, missing the cut. Like, that's what it's going to be. And he's probably not going to play any of the other majors. It's just going to be a Masters thing because the U.S. Open's going to get too hard for him.
I was going to ask if you think he's going to play the U.S. Open this year.
No, like, why should he?
I think that sand's gonna be a problem for him. I mean, he's gonna play, but I see me, and it's not because I like Phil infinitely better than Tiger. But I'd rather be in Phil's shoes because Phil, in a way, still kind of controls his own destiny, and
Phil
Tiger
can
doesn't.
walk. Phil can walk. I would much rather be in the shoes of the person that can walk than Tiger Woods.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, and
Sure.
that's purely what it is. Like if you just it was Exhibit A against Exhibit B, don't know who they are. It's like to me, Phil's just so much more appealing right now. But yeah, I wanted to start off low and
I
then go
think
to
Phil
something
could win
high.
again.
Yeah.
I think Phil could win again. If he gets
I
another
think
hard ass major course, I think he could win.
I think too, if he wins one on Live, that might be the end of it. I think he just wants to pick one up there because he's already said it. He's like really outside winning the U.S. Open. There's nothing left for him in golf.
Right.
And so I think
What
he
if
wants to go to.
What if he won a Masters again? He finished T2 like last year.
Yeah, I think that's his best bet is a Masters. For a major.
That would
Or
be
you never
insane.
or you never know. When's the next time we go to St. Andrews? Is it next year?
I don't know.
He could pick one up there, I think.
I think he could pick up a British Open for sure if he could keep the ball in the fairway.
Well, I think that's a course where he just gets to be creative as all get out. But I I also think that Phil's just got too much going on in his head. I mean, I'm watching Sprouts commercials and come get my coffee products that, have these brownie bites to start your day. And it's like, come on, man. I'm probably going to go to Sprouts now. But still, it's like, come on, man. It's like you're 53 years old, soon to be 54. Like, if you're still going to win, you got to get buckled in. You got to buckle that seat up, and I want to see him win one on Live, but I think that might be his last hurrah.
I
don't think there's any human I want to look like less than Phil Mickelson. So I'm not eating or drinking anything that bitch drinks.
Why do you say that?
Have you seen him recently? He's just so odd looking. He looks alien-esque.
That's because he was fat for so long.
I know. I know. Trust me, I've been fat, but I don't look like him. He looks like
debatable.
He looks odd, dude.
I'm actually starting to like the way thin EJ looks. I mean, I saw fat EJ for so long that
thin EJ is how normal EJ should be. You know what I'm saying? I grew up like this. Fat EJ was phenomenal.
Weird.
Mickelson was thin though in college and early on in tour.
Yeah, he was.
And then
Ashworth days.
Mm-hmm. And then Ashworth started fitting him really well.
Yeah, it started getting a little tight.
Yeah, he needs to go back to the baggy. He should go with Malbon, like Jason Day.
Oh my gosh.
Get them baggy pitches on. He'll start looking normal again. Maybe pencil in some eyebrows.
Here, let's look.
That's the thing that makes him look weird.
Pencil in the eyebrows. He doesn't have any eyebrows. You're right.
He needs to get them eyebrows tattooed in like the baddies do. You know
so
what I'm saying? Let's start looking good.
Let's talk fashion for a minute. Tell us what you think about Malbon.
I think it's ass. I think it's a fucking catastrophe. And they should be ashamed. They're just doing stupid, cloudy shit for no reason. It's like, here, let's make this dude look as fuckly, as terrible as possible. And we're just going to put our name as big as shit on the front. You guys should be banned from the Masters.
What about
guys. And then,
what about Nelly? Nelly gets signed with Malbon.
If she starts wearing baggy shit, I'm going to be on it too. You know what I'm saying? Keep her looking like she's looking and she'll be fine. But don't deviate just for fucking sport. You know what I'm saying? If she shows up in some joggers, I'm going to be like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Some baggy ass hammer pants or some shit. Just because it's Malbon. Get out of here. And then they team up with New Balance. I think that guy's just a douche.
Maybe DeChambeau's going to get on board with him soon.
Nah, man. Malbon might be the only dude I like in golf less than Khaled.
Malbon less than Khaled? Nah. Nah.
Yeah, but he wants to be Khaled. So if you really think about it, there's probably nothing about Malbon right now that he wants. So it makes sense.
Is Malbon even relevant outside of Jason Day wearing it?
Yeah, they got Nelly Corda.
I've never seen anyone wearing that shit in my life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that I roll in the coolest of places, but I'm not playing. I
was thinking about that. No, I couldn't think of anybody that, like, outside of Jason Day.
Yeah. I don't see it at a course ever. Never. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's wearing that bullshit. You just take pictures of bullshit and put it on Instagram, and people like it because it's fucking exclusive. Fuck out of here, Malbon.
Did I get Nelly wrong? I'm seeing Charlie Hall, somebody's name on the LPGA tour that I cannot pronounce, and then Jason Day. Jung Lee, 6. Oh, Jesper Parnevik joined Malbon. I thought Nelly had. I thought I saw her wearing the hat.
Talk
Ain't
about
nobody wearing
somebody
that shit.
not relevant use for part of the week.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The only reason he's relevant is because he hooked Tiger Woods up with his wife. Did he win a
Use
major?
spot.
Whose career
Yeah,
would
he
you rather
did.
have, Xander or Jesper?
Oh man, Xander.
There you go.
Xander,
Oh,
that's
man.
another good one.
Fucking Jesper. What did he win?
He won the Open, didn't
Damn.
Some Ryder Cups.
I have no idea. He was
You
the
know what,
first
though?
golfer sponsored by Upper Deck.
I'll say who.
I forgot about that.
Do you want to wear Jesper's? Do you want to wear
He
Jesper's
was.
hat? Do you want to wear Jesper's hat or the Desante that that Xander's wearing?
I would rather wear Jesper's hat.
Yeah.
Then
Xander's
what?
apparel was
Xander's
atrocious.
apparel yesterday. Today.
Almost all week.
Dude, he's taken on the new Adam Scott role, just earth tones all the time. The tan man, the
Yeah.
beige man. It's just
The tan man.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh no, Usper came in second at the Open twice. It was. It came in second, T2, T4, T10. He was there for a minute there in the late 90s.
And he was a force to be reckoned with in the Ryder Cup.
What kind of fashion statement do you think it would take to make a mediocre golfer like Jesper be rememberable? Like we remember him because of his hat. Like, what kind of asshole fashion statement do you think a tour player would have to make today for us to remember him years down the line?
Well, I mean, you would
Well,
have to remember him with 15 wins. So, let's put him in that kind of relevant category too, considering that we were talking about guys that have 9.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I mean, the dude he had 15 wins worldwide on tour. Like, it was somebody.
Fair.
Okay,
Well,
so
I
let's
can't
talk.
name a single one of his wins.
True.
All right, I think that Bubba with the pink driver is the closest thing we've seen to the Jesper hat.
I mean, you can't ignore Payne Stewart in the +4s.
Yeah, they were about the same time.
Yeah, they were in there together.
Yeah, I mean,
Payne was
probably 10 years older. 2 U.S. Opens.
Yeah, I remember Payne for beating Phil.
Yes.
And then what a cool moment afterwards. When he like grabs Phil by the face, says, "You're gonna be a father. Who gives a shit? Like, go be a dad. That is so much better." You know?
Yeah.
And like what's memorialized now at Pinehurst. Yeah, that stance.
Making that putt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the +4s, you know?
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else you feel like adding? I think we've been at this for a minute, and I think we've covered everything sufficiently.
Yeah. I'm good.
Matt? No. I think we had a good little session. I think we need to make this more of a thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
I thought Usper was going to be one of the captains on the Ryder Cup. Maybe he's just going to be an assistant captain.
Who?
Luke Donald's the straight up captain for 25, huh? Yeah, I thought Usper was involved with it. Like he was named something not too long ago. Like his name popped up and Ryder Cup was involved, I thought.
Yeah, they named Luke the captain basically when he won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the next pod we should discuss who the American could be. Did we pick one yet?
No, they're actually saying They're actually saying we're like close to 6 months behind on naming a captain.
That could be a good conversation.
So
We need to find out who's involved and
weighing some options.
who's involved and yeah, who's Vegas got odds on, then we can discuss it. Right?
That's good.
Yes,
I mean,
it's
they
Luke
gotta have
Donald.
odds somewhere on it.
I assume so. You check it out. All right.
Yeah, 2025 is going to be at Bethpage, and prior to
Yes.
Live,
Phil.
they were pretty much penciling Phil in. If it was just me, I would say still do it because the pure simple fact that like New York City loves Phil, and they're going to get a great crowd no matter what. But they bring him in, it's like I just don't know how. I don't think there is either, but I still think they should do it. If it was anywhere else, no. And Phil even said he's like, I don't think it's a good idea, but I do because I just want to see Phil have it there, you know.
There's no way.
Yeah, I know, but it's
There's
wishful
no way.
thinking. It's wishful thinking.
Oh,
I don't
it
want to
would
see
be
Tiger.
great, but like that's kind of odd that like that's how you feel they should do it. I find that odd that you feel that way though.
Anywhere else, I wouldn't say it. But they love him
The
up there.
tournament, the Ryder Cup being held in Bethpage is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
He would pick all live guys. He'd be like, hey, since I'm the captain, we're not using the point
100%.
system
Yeah,
anymore. I'm picking
yeah,
12 guys.
Taylor Gooch is the
Yeah.
best iron player.
yeah. Yeah, he'd be riding in the cart with the Saudis, dude. It'd be a shit show. They'll be cruising in little topless cars down the fairway with the Saudis in the passenger seat with earpieces in, bro.
They're the assistant captains. Honorary Captain Yasser.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna record in what, 1 week, 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
we're each gonna take some time, and we're gonna have, you know, kind of like who we really think should be the captain, who we would say is like the dark horse captain.
The Ryder Cup captain.
Yeah, and then your wishful thinking. You already know mine, but you never know, I might change it. But it's like the guy who you really think should be it, the guy that you think that could be it, but maybe no one's thinking about, you know, the dark horse. And then that wishful thinking, like the one that just does it for you more than anything. So, and we already
The
know
one that just does it for me?
Mm-hmm.
I have to look for that one.
Yeah.
Mine can't walk. The person that does it for me can't walk.
I knew it. I knew one of you two. I knew one of you was gonna pick him. But you got a week or two.
All right, sounds like a winner.
I think I'm gonna find somebody that you wouldn't think I would pick.
That's your wishful thinking.
I'm gonna find one too.
I'm gonna look around and see if I can find one, and you go, "Ooh, that kind of makes sense, and that could be fun." Let's see what we can come up with. I got to find out what the requirements are to be a Ryder Cup captain. There has to be requirements, right?
I don't think so. It used to be said you had to win a major. You know, but
I think that would be a minimum requirement.
Yeah, but look at Luke Donald. He never won one.
Yeah, but like he dominated Ryder Cups and played it.
Well, yeah, and he was a world number one in 2010.
Yeah, he didn't win a major. Poor fellow. It's okay.
Yeah,
still made a bunch of money, and he's gonna captain another Ryder Cup win.
Yep.
If we don't get it together, because those dudes love to play golf, and we got too many guys that are just lackluster.
Many non-needle moving Xanders of the world.
We got a pile of them, man.
Yeah.
We got a pile of them, and there's nobody new coming. Like, we got the Golly. He just kind of hangs out. You know?
Well, I think too, I think too, we should maybe even throw in like our misnomer. Who's a player from Live that you absolutely have to have?
Bryson, DeChambeau, and Brooks. I think.
I don't even think you need Brooks. You need Bryson.
I think we need Dustin Johnson.
Dustin Johnson.
The
should
last
stay
the
on the
last
couch.
Ryder Cup he played in, he was 5-0.
Yeah,
It's 100 years ago.
yeah, yeah. No, you
2
need Bryson and Brooks. I think.
I just
You gotta go down there. You gotta go down to Jupiter, and you gotta sit down with Brooks, and you gotta get him just. You gonna get fired up for this or not?
yeah, and that's the problem.
And if he says, yeah, I'm gonna get fired up for it, you go, okay, you're in. Let's go. But this whole like who's gonna play, who's not gonna play, let's who am I gonna pick? Oh, I'm gonna pick all the little circle jerkers over here and let them hang out together. Like that's what they did, and it didn't work. And they went over there and they got crushed.
I think Brooks should play with Scheffler.
Dude, they play in like 3 hours and 25 minutes, and nobody would say nothing. They just make birdies all day long.
And Bryson.
So here's
I
the
don't
problem
even
with
know who else
Bryson.
would be on the team.
I don't think anybody would want to play with him.
And I disagree. You know what I'm saying? Like Brian Harmon and Bryson DeChambeau would be a fucking killer.
Dude, that would be good.
That would
Bryson
be a
would hit
killer
like
team.
9 irons from Harmon's ball. It'd work.
It would work awesome.
I'd like to see the two of them fight.
That wouldn't be as fun. It'd be over fast.
I put my money on Harmon.
No.
Oh yeah, little scrappy guys.
No. He's way too small.
Yeah, we should throw in that little tidbit. We're even talking about it right now, but think about it. Think on it.
All right,
who's going into the team room? Who's the guy who, you just can't live without, no pun intended.
You gotta have that guy.
Yeah,
I don't think it's Phil Mickelson anymore.
Oh, I wouldn't pick Phil as my guy I can't live without. I'll say that much.
Well, I'm just saying that. Well, you were talking about Phil as a captain. Like, I don't think I want Phil to be that guy to come in there and get him riled up, get him circled around. I'm just saying, I don't know if Phil's my guy for that.
Remember, he was the driving force behind the task force. So, I think Phil's interesting, but he did also say he doesn't want it anymore because he doesn't think he is the right guy. But I mean, Phil at Bethpage, it's just like makes me tingle.
I got somebody.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll
All right,
talk about
boys.
it. I mean,
I'll
that'll be
let
good.
you later. Yeah.
Later.
Adios.